Hello to my Saturday night players. How's it going? So this is the Basic Dungeons and Dragons campaign for Fantasy Grounds that we're going to be using for all of our basic Dungeons and Dragons fun that we're going to have. So I wanted to make this quick tutorial for all of you on how to use your characters basically. So the first thing you want to do is don't forget, go into your library in the lower right hand corner and go to your modules, because remember, you want to activate the modules that I have available for you. And right now there's only going to be one in your modules interface, and it will be the player's guide for the Rules Cyclopedia. I basically took the Rules Cyclopedia, the 304-page book, and I broke it up into players stuff for you guys that you can access, and then all of the monsters, magic items, stuff like that is going to be just for me. So I have a Dungeon Master version of the Rules Cyclopedia. So once you activate that module, you can access everything over here on the right-hand side via the sidebar buttons. And not all of them are turned on by default. So while you have your library open, up top, just go ahead and activate all of the sidebar buttons that you want, and just just click them on, or just hit the all button, or whatever you want to do. So don't forget, when you join the game on Saturday night, I'll have it open quite a few hours early for you. You can go ahead and activate it. So if you want any kind of items or anything like that, go ahead. They're all here in alphabetical order. Everything from the 10-foot pole all the way to the Wolf's Bane. And as we go through more modules, as I convert more modules, if there's any kind of special equipment that you guys want, all you got to do is let me know in the Discord server, or just shoot me an email, and I'll add more equipment to the Basic Dungeons and Dragons game. So everything, like I said, everything is on the story journals. Here's everything on character creation. I put everything in alphabetical order. So if you want to know about combat, just click on combat, and you can open this up and read everything from surprise to initiative, the combat order, movement. Here's the combat maneuvers that we're going to be using, which are basically mostly for the fighter and stuff like that. THAC0, attack roll, everything that you need to know about combat's there. Anything you need to know about general skills is here. And then I also have all of the skills listed as well towards the bottom. And you can click these and open them up and read about whatever you want to read. So that's basically everything on the right. So everything's there just like in every other rule set. All of this was done by me, and I've put as you guys have seen in the chat, I've put in probably 100 hours putting all of this information in. So here's the whole purpose of the video. This is about the character sheets, and I'm really happy with the way that the character sheets turned out. I was originally going to use just the core RPG, but as I talked to a couple of people and look more at the more core rule set, I went ahead and just used that. So after I had put a bunch of information in, I had to basically convert it over so it would work with more core. And more core is a rule set. It was created by Damned and modified by a bunch of other people. So hats off and props to all of you who worked on the more core rule set. It is amazing. And not only can you put this, D&D, but if we wanted to play something down the line that there's not an official rule set for, more core will allow us to play that game. So, which is amazing. So I'm gonna go over all of the character sheets, even the classes that we are not playing, because every one of these classes in Basic Dungeons and Dragons has its own character sheet with all of the macros built in, everything. And as we play D&D, and over time, as we go to more regions in the known world, maybe if we go to Hollow World, whatever, Thunder Rift, then we'll also unlock more classes to play. And then plus, I have some ideas for creating some custom classes that will be in line with the Basic Dungeons & Dragons rules and mechanics, and maybe we'll even incorporate those down the line. So here you go, Batilda the Dwarf. Here is your character sheet. Now, I'm going to go over Batilda's a little bit more in detail, except for the roles. I'll talk about the roles on all of the different character sheets. But just like every other rule set, there are tabs with the more core character sheet. And the first tab, this has all of the roles. So as you are playing your dwarf, everything that you need is on this front page to roll. Everything. And I'm going to go over the roles in just a second. The second tab, the more data tab, this, I really am not using it because because Basic Dungeons & Dragons is not a very rule-heavy game. So there's not a lot of mechanics involved. And that's why I was able to keep everything pretty much on the first tab. So the second tab, I basically just put some images in there. So if you need to refer to the THACO chart, you can go ahead and refer to that. You can refer to the saving throw table as you go up in levels, and it has all the different classes on the table. We are using Weapon Mastery from the Master box set number 4. Here are all of the melee weapons and their masteries. And then here's the other table 2, that has all of the ranged weapons and the rest of, basically these are all the, dagger, anything that can be thrown or ranged weapons are on the second table. So you can easily refer to those. And then here's all of the abbreviations for the weapon mastery chart. So that's pretty much everything on the second tab, and that's for every single class for Basic D&D. And then I put your class here. So you're playing a dwarf, you can just go ahead and open this up. You can put it down on your macro bar down below. Just drag it down there and put it down there like that. And you can open it up, and it has everything needed for your class. So you won't have to open up a book or anything like that. You'll have everything accessible in your character sheet. Now the next tab is the main tab. This is not used. So this is the old way before the More Core extension was built on top of Core RPG. This is how you added your attributes and skills and stuff. You could do macros and stuff, but we are not using this because everything is on the first tab. Next, here is your abilities tab, the fourth tab down. And everything for your class is already here. So everything from attack all the way down to special defenses that the dwarf gets at level 17. And these numbers indicate what level you will be getting these, basically these abilities. So disarm, parry, and smash at 12. These are what the fighters get. These are the fighter combat maneuvers. But the dwarf also gets them as well. They get them at 12. Next tab is the inventory tab. Batilda, this is all of the inventory that you wanted. And you can see that all of the items are drag and drop. So anything you want to put on your inventory tab, you just go into the items and just simply drag and drop it. And the character sheet auto calculates your encumbrance. So everything is carried in coins. It's considered a coin weight. And you have 660 coins worth of encumbrance on you. So this will affect your movement a little bit. And we'll get into that when we play. And then here's all of your money. And a nice little box that you can start adding all your gems in. And lastly, here is the notes tab. You can write in your background story in the notes, anything else. Maybe if you get a magic item that adds a plus to one of your attributes, you can put that in there. Here's all of your language. As a dwarf, not only do you get common and dwarf, you also get your alignment tongue as well. We don't go by alignment, so I really didn't add that in there. But here is you also get gnome, goblin, and kobold. So I also put in the options here. I also created all of the languages too. So whoever got additional languages, like the elf and the dwarf, I added those in there. So if you decide to speak kobold, you would just go to the language filter down here, select kobold, and then voila, this is a test. And then voila, it'll translate it into chat. Just like, all the other rule sets like D&D 5e, etc. So languages are also incorporated as well. Now for the first tab, back to the main tab, this is where all the magic happens. I wanted this to be as simple as I could make it for you. There's not automation like the D&D 5e rule set, Pathfinder, Savage Worlds. This is just a base, this is just a basic rule set. And it's good because you guys are going to really learn your classes, learn your roles, etc. So what I did was the top box here, I just labeled this as weapon mastery, so you can easily see your weapon masteries, and we can, as your weapon masteries go up, we can even add the effects and stuff in there, no problem at all. The combat box here, this is your hit points. You have 8 hit points. You also have a 2 armor class. The wounds is in Fantasy Grounds, as you know, your damage is counted up towards your max hit points, so you'll put your wounds here. Your THAC is 19, just like everybody else, and then you get a 5% an XP bonus. So anytime we get XP, you'll get 5% because you have a 13 in strength. So initiative, we really don't need to worry about because we're doing group initiative, but if we ever did individual initiative, then this box would, this would actually play more of a part. So for attributes, and this is not only for your character sheet, Batilda, but for everybody's character sheet. This is the same on every class. So I know that we rolled characters and a lot of people had 8s. The minimum was 8, but I made a managerial decision and I decided to raise everybody's minimum score to 9. That way you wouldn't have a -1 modifier. Because if we stayed with the 8, a lot of people would have less hit points. A lot of people would have less armor class and negatives to hit. So I figured, okay, I'm going to make this managerial decision, and all of the minimum of 8s are going to be a minimum of 9. That way you're not going to get any kind of negative modifier to your dex, meaning your AC, or like wisdom for spell saving throw, or, anything that's related to attributes. So minimum of 9, that's okay. So you'll see that there's boxes. So you can hover over these boxes and take, for instance, for you, this is your strength score. You have a 13. The second box you hover over, it's your strength modifier bonus. So the 13 strength gives you a +1. And then the last is any other kind of strength bonuses, maybe from magic items or anything like that. So you'll have 3 boxes, and it's easy to maintain it. So if you ever get a magic item that takes your strength up to 18, maybe the girdle of giant strength or something like that, you just open this up and you'll notice that you don't have to change anything in here because the formula for the macros pull from the other boxes. So you can see the first box is your strength score, second is your modifier, third is other bonuses. So all you would do, you really don't even need to open that up. You would just change the numbers inside of the boxes. Makes it really simple for you. And if you want to do a strength check, all you do is have to do a roll. And you can see it did 1d20 +1, and it was a 7 +1 for 8. Piece of cake. That's how the attributes box works. Saving throws. Every class has saving throws. Everything has, death ray poison, magic wands, paralysis, breath attack, and then rod, staff, and spells. So the only thing you'll notice that there's 1 extra box down here for the spells, and this extra box is because of your wisdom modifier bonus. You don't have one, so that's why that box is empty. So if you want to roll a saving throw, say you just got burnt by Flamethrower the Red Dragon, you would need to do a breath attack saving throw. So you would just roll the die. And you can see that you rolled an 8. It compares it, the macro compares it to your saving throw score, which is a 13. And you can see that the macro tells you if it's successful or if it's a failure. So you rolled an 8, your target is 13, you failed. So you'll pretty much die from the dragon attack. Every one of these saving throw macros are the same. And all you have to do as you go up in levels, your saving throw score will get better. So all you do is just change the number. Simple as that. Piece of cake. No programming involved, nothing like that. Skills. Macros are built using the saving throw, basically the saving throw syntax for the roll. So you took fire building, healing, hunting, intimidation. So you have to roll. Intimidation is based off of strength, and you can hover over that, and that's your skill ability score, which is strength. The other box, that is for any other kind of bonuses. Maybe you have magic items that give you bonuses to certain skills, which I will probably incorporate some of those into the game eventually. So you'll take your intimidation score. You have to roll a 13 or lower. That's how skill checks work in Basic D&D. 13 or lower. Roll the macro. You rolled a 10. So Batilda the Dwarf rolled a intimidation check of 13. You're supposed to roll a 13, but we rolled a 10, so it's successful. You'll notice that it says saving throw. That's because I'm using the same less than or greater than formula for saving throw. So just ignore saving throw. It's not a saving throw roll. I wish I could change that to skill check roll. Maybe someone in the Morecore community could maybe make a / skill check roll instead of a / S save roll. Maybe we could get that to where it'll say skill check, target 13, success of 10. But don't worry about that. The only thing you got to worry about is being successful or a failure. So you're fire building, it's raining outside. Were you successful? No, because you rolled a 16 and your target's a 9 because that's based off of intelligence. So that's how skill checks roll. It's really nice. So if any of your attributes change, you'll change your attribute score in this column. This column will be bonuses. Really nice. Here's all of your attacks. You have in the hand. You basically have on your inventory, you have a hand axe. It's all you have. So your hand axe attack, hand axe damage, of course it's strength based, and you'll just roll it. So it's you rolled a 9. There is a THAC0 syntax, like a syntax for THAC0, but I decided not to use it. I may incorporate it later, but as for now, we're just going to do straight out rolls and just compare it. Because I want you guys to I want you guys to figure out THAC0. I want you guys to know how to calculate it, and that's basically why I left it out. Because if it just says hit or miss, you're not really learning anything. And the automation is nice, believe me, but we're going to learn how to do THAC0 first. And then if you ever decide to throw your hand axe, I also made an attack for you as well, which the throw is dexterity based, so that's why you don't have a bonus. And your hand axe damage is based off of strength, so that's why you have a 1 in there. And then if you ever decide to pick up a crossbow, a bow, a sling, or anything like that, you'll have these missile attacks, because that's what ranged attacks are called in Basic D&D, missile attacks, and you'll have that. So your maneuvers, I added the maneuvers in, even though you won't be able to use these. These are for level 12. Remember, you get these maneuvers at level 12. So they're there just for whenever you can hit that level. And then last but not least, your dwarf abilities, you get to detect any kind of traps and stone masonry or anything. So I've already got this built in, which is basically it's a roll, and you have to roll low to be successful. So you have to roll a 1 or 2. You rolled a d6, you rolled a 5, it was a failure. There again, I'm using the saving throw parameters for the syntax and for the macro. Don't worry about that. Just worry about it saying failure or success. The last one everybody can do, and it's on everybody's character sheet, and it is open doors. So seeing that you have a +1 modifier for strength, that is in the strength modifier bonus. So instead of having to have a 5 or a 6 to open up a door that's jammed or locked or anything like that, you have to roll a 4, 5, or 6. So you get 1 bonus, but you were failed because you had a 2 + 1. But if you roll a 3, it'll add 1, 4, and it'll be a success. So that's your character sheet, and everything is built in for you, Batilda. So I really like the way that the character sheets turned out. I'm really happy with it. It's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be so quick as well. So next, here you go, Andrew. Here's your brother Claudius. Everything is already done for you as well. All your, even as Batilda's, I put level 1, and then here's the next level for experience. So you'll need 1,500, as you can see on Batilda, seeing that she's basically a demi-human. She'll need 2,200. So just like yours, your notes is done. All of your inventory's there. You got 1,200 plus encumbrance, so you're going to be moving pretty slow in combat, which is okay, not a problem. Here's all of your abilities. Everything, you don't have as many as a dwarf because you're a human, but everything is level based. Here's the main tab we don't use, more core we don't use, but here's your cleric class. So if you need to know anything about the cleric, you can just open this up and read everything about it. And here's the same charts that are on every single character sheet. Now, all of your weapon masteries are here, Andrew. Your armor class has already been calculated, 6 hit points, stacko, etc. Your skills are ready to go. Alertness, danger sense, healing, and mysticism. Saving throws are done. Everything is set up the same way. Now, the only thing that I want to show that's different from yours than Batilda's is you have spells, obviously. So instead of using the second tab for spell slots, which I could have used, but I didn't, because I wanted to keep it simple and I wanted to keep everything on the same front tab. So everything here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you get 7 levels with the spell slots. Here's your spell slots. So there's 2 boxes. Here's your current spell slots, and then your maximum spell totals, your spell slot total. So as you hit level 2, then you'll put a 1 in this box for spell slot total, because you get 1. And then as you level up, you'll just change these boxes as you get more spells. I did add all of the spell levels in there, just so we wouldn't have to do that later. And then here's all of your spells. So you get all of the first level spells. I put those for you. And like I said, with my house rule, you can use any of these spells with your spell slots. And then as we, use level 2, we'll put a 2. And then so every spell will be in spell level order. So you'll be able to find them really quickly. They'll be in spell level order. And then within that, they'll be in alphabetical order too. So you'll also notice like Cure Light Wounds and other spells that have the die, everything has macros built into it. So for Cure Light Wounds, you can see that it's 1d6 plus 7, and the die rolls, 1d6 plus 1, and then the roll will do 1d6 plus 1. So all you got to do is just either click it, or you don't even have to, there's no automation, so if you got to drag it, it won't work. As you can see, I'm dragging the sheet. So just click it from there, and there you go. Cure Light Wounds, 1d6 plus 1. That's how your spells work. I think it's really easy, and you're good to go. Lastly, you get Turn Undead, and unfortunately, with the 7-9 rule, Skeleton is first in the list, Zombie is second in the list, Ghoul is third in the list, but unfortunately, that's not going to work. So what we're going to do is, because it keeps everything in alphabetical order, as you can see, you just got to look. And then, it'll do the roll's already figured out for you. And it's based, once again, off the less than or greater than saving throw roll. So all you have to do is just look to see if it's failure or success. So you roll 2d6, and for the skeleton, you got to roll at least a 7 or higher on 2d6. You only rolled 4, so it'll tell you failure. Once we get to the destroyed plus, and destroyed hashtag, then we'll just kind of write that down here in the name of the title. So, and then we'll just leave it blank, because there's no roll needed once you hit, automatically turn, destroy plus, and destroy hashtag. So you don't need to worry about that. But that's your Turn Undead. So Brother Claudius, your character sheet's ready to go. And if anybody decides to play a cleric down the line, this is the way your cleric sheet is going to look. Next, we've got you, Big Johnny, our youngest player. He's playing an elf, Fenrir the Elf. So here you go, Johnny. Here's everything the same. All of the tabs. There's your massive amount of equipment that you have. You're going to be hungry with no food. There's all of your skills that you get, all the way up to level 14 with special defenses and multiple attacks at 11 and 18. So you can always refer to those. And then, here's your elf class information, and then all the charts like on everybody else's sheets. So your everything has been figured out for you. Your armor class, you have a hell of a good armor class at 1 because of your shield. But remember, if you ever get rid of your shield, it may go up. No, you actually don't own a shield because you were broke. So you get the good +2 to your AC because of your dexterity score. So you had some pretty good rolls. Your modifiers are already in there. All of your saving throws are done. You have acrobatics, alchemy, tattooing, craft, and then healing and hunting. You got 5 starting skills because of your intelligence modifier gave you an extra one. Now your attacks have already been done. You have a 2-handed sword, so you will automatically go last every single round because 2-handed weapons always go last. If you ever add a missile weapon or a throw weapon, you'll have those macros already done for you. Your spell slots are set up the same way as what Andrew's is with Brother Claudius. So here you have, at level 1, you have 1 spell slot. So anytime you use your current spell slot, just take that to 0. And then the next day after you guys get a long rest, you do your hour spell preparation, then you can add your 1 back. It's not automatic. There's no short rest or long rest that's built into the combat tracker. So you'll have to manually do it. And then here's your 2 spells. You actually rolled Charm Person. You actually got to choose one, and then I rolled one. I rolled Detect Magic for you, so you have that. Last is your elf abilities. Open Doors, everybody gets this. Detection, you also get, so that roll is built in. And then also I gave you Smash Attack and Smash Damage because you'll get those later on. As you can see on your Abilities tab, you'll get those at level 11. So you won't use those until 11. So, which for you, that'll be a lot of experience because you are playing the class that needs the most experience for level 2, which is 4,000. So a couple people are going to level twice before you even, or 3 times before you even level once. But there you go. That's your character sheet, Fenrir the Elf. Half Court. This is Mr. Rob Toohey. Here is your Halfling. Everything is done. You need 2,000 experience for 2nd level. Halflings unfortunately only get common. There's your inventory, 625 coins worth of encumbrance. Here's all of your special abilities that you'll get all the way up to level 18 with multi-attack. Special defenses is 15. Here's all the charts. Here's your Halfling class in the More Data tab. And in the first one, all of your stuff is calculated. There's your weapon masteries. All of your attributes are averaged out for you, done for you. Saving throws are done. You have 4 skills: bargaining, blind shooting, endurance, and escape. So you would just click any of these to roll. And then on every other sheet, I also left a couple of extra skill slots to where later on, if you decided to choose more skills, you'll just, open it up, write the name of the skill up here, close it, and that's it, and then add in the ability score modifier that it's involved with. So it'll be easy. Your attacks, you got a crossbow and a short sword. If you ever decide to, have any kind of throwing weapons, I left that in there for you also, Rob. You get open doors like everybody else, and then here's your special maneuvers that you'll get later on. Smash. Basically, smash it. I can't wait till you guys get that. That's at level 11 for you as a Halfling. And then you get a couple of abilities that are percentile base, and I've already got these macros built in for you. So if you want to basically hide in the woodlands, just do that. And you got to roll 90 or lower. But look at that. You rolled a 93, so you failed. You have a really good chance to hide in woods. And not as good of a chance to hide indoors. You only got a 33% chance. So let's see. You would have actually been successful with a 33% chance. So nice. So there you go, Rob. There's your Halfling character sheet. And this will be that way for anybody else that decides to play. Last but not least, this is Lance. This is your character here. This is Klutz the Thief. Bobcat Goldthwaite, right? I think that's who you wanted him to be like. So, here's everything for you as well. All of your equipment, your encumbrances, 400. You'll be able to move pretty good. All of your abilities, your thief class. There's the other charts that you can refer to. Everything is the same for you. All of your attributes are done. Saving throws are done. Your skills are acrobatics, blind shooting, danger sense, and escape. These are really nice for you. So acrobatics, you got to roll 16 or lower. There you go. You just jumped from one rooftop to another rooftop with a successful 10. Nice job. So you got your longbow attack I've already done. It's dex based. Your normal sword attack and damage, which is basically a long sword. It's called a normal sword in basic Dungeons and Dragons. And if you ever pick up daggers or throwing hammers or anything like that, here's a throwing attack set up for you already. Thief features, you get backstab. So here's the roll that's already involved. You don't have any strength bonus modifier. So, but to get the excess, you'll get a +4. So that's why it's in the other bonuses box. But that would have been bad anyway. But here's backstab damage, basically. Unfortunately, with this, we can do it either two ways. But the way that I put it into the macro is, what we're going to do is we're just going to basically, even though it says roll it and multiply it by 2, I can't do that. There's no way to signify rolling damage like a 1d8 and multiplying it by 2. I wish there was, but that's just not in Fantasy Grounds. So what I did was I put 2d8 in there instead of 1d8 times 2. So as you can see with your backstab damage, it'll roll 2d8. That's beautiful. Look at that. Best case scenario. And then it'll, of course, your attack will add +4. Here's your open doors like everybody else. Also, you get read languages and magic user scroll, reading scrolls. So, you know what? I need to actually add those into your abilities. Looks like I forgot to add that, but no problem. I will add those in for you. So it's percentage based, and it's based off of the greater than less than saving throw. So you have an 80% chance to read languages. I mean, that's a great chance. And then you even have a 90% chance to read magic user scrolls. So yeah, you're gonna have good times with those macros. It's already built in. And then last but not least, here's your thief abilities. Your awesome 10% chance to find traps and stuff. Let's see. Oh, wow, look at that. That's a fail. So all these will be thrown into the dice tower because I want to see these. But as you go up in levels, you'll just go ahead and change the numbers because they'll usually go up about 5% per skill per level, except for climb walls. It may go up 1% or 2. So that is your character sheet, and I'll be sure to add read languages and use magic user scrolls on your sheet so you can check those out. In fact, I may even have those in with the abilities. Let's see, read languages. Let's go all the way to read. It's not. So I'll have to add those in. No problem. It'll just take me a couple of minutes. But there you go, everybody. Those are your character sheets. And last but not least, to show the fighter one. The fighter sheet. Nobody's playing a fighter, but this is the least amount of stuff that's going on, obviously. And basically it's just smash attack at level 9 and open doors. So, but the sheet's the same. Magic users. This is nobody's playing a magic user either. So everything is the same. What I did is I put spell slots in this column, and then anytime that you guys add spells for your spell book, you can just go ahead and add it into the spell box here. And as you can see, they are drag and drop, which is beautiful. You can just take Animate Dead for the magic user and drag and drop it, and voila, there it is. Simple as that. Macros are already built in for you and all that stuff, so there's no making macros. Last but not least, we have the Mystic here, and that is the Monk. For basic Dungeons and Dragons, everything is the same, except for, you'll notice here, well, all the skills, the abilities and stuff are level based. And as you can see, they get the same maneuvers as fighter and stuff, but they get thief abilities. So they only get a certain amount of thief abilities. They don't get everything that the thief does, but I went ahead and added those in. And of course, you can see the massive minus 20% XP that the Mystic gets. But with your ability scores, you can kind of lessen that blow a little bit with a bonus. So, but there you go. Those are all the character sheets for basic D&D. And as we unlock more, which there may be a Rakasta showing up, a Rakasta class, maybe the Gladiator, maybe the Shaman. Those are all in the Gazatteers. So we'll be unlocking those later on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned a little bit. And if you have any questions, just send me an email or anything like that. So thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye. See you Saturday night.